Shalom, back again with another lesson. Before I begin this lesson, I'd first like to begin by giving all honor, glory, and praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha Kodash. I want to give double honors to my elders and apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well, where I learned this truth from. I want to say peace and salutations to Akim, you brothers out there laboring, pushing this word out in all truth and in sincerity, presenting your bodies as a living sacrifice, which is your reasonable service. I want to say shalom to you Akwaf, you Israelite sisters that may be listening, and also to you Israelites that are scattered across the four corners of the earth. You may look like these other nations, but your seed line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, which is the chosen seed line. Shalom. So I was on social media today, and I was checking out some clips, and I came across this one clip from this woman that was speaking on the dangers of the digital ID system being implemented, because basically it would restrict your freedom of speech, and obviously it'd be a dangerous tool that that the government powers would have, over the people. Now I'm going to play this clip for you just so you can see exactly what I'm talking about, and then I'll obviously get into some scriptures. It's not going to be a long lesson, but we always want to touch on this topic because obviously it's a big prophecy that's getting ready to be implemented in the earth, right? So check this clip out.
You're a dissident. If you're talking like I'm talking right now and the powers that be don't like it, you can't escape. If international interoperable digital IDs become mandatory, humanity will become trapped in a digital gulag. Nothing will chill free speech more quickly than having social media posts tracked through artificial intelligence and mandatory digital
So
ID.
as you can see from what the woman was saying, she was speaking on the fact that if you say something against the government, if you say something against, a certain group of people, and they don't like it or it's offensive, they can track you through their AI systems. They can restrict your freedom of speech. They can come after you basically. Now, when you look at the app TikTok, for example, the app TikTok was sold to a specific group of people, right? A specific owner that belongs to a specific group of people. And the reason that they had to buy that app is because there was a lot of information being brought out about these people, that was being exposed, right? They're still being exposed. But now, with them being in charge of the app, certain things get deleted straight away, or accounts get deleted, lives get taken down. This is what's happening. Now, what they want to do with this digital system, this digital ID system, they want to be able to do the exact same thing. So if you're speaking too much or you're speaking too loudly, they can silence you or they can lock you off from society. Now this is a prophecy that's been written, and you can find that in the book of Revelations, which we're going to bring out shortly. But just to say that this is what they want. They want to be able to do this, and a lot of people will say, "Oh, we always hear these scriptures. We always hear you repeating the same things," but that's fine. The reason that we do it so much because it says repetition is the mother of all learning, right? So constantly going over the same topic, it's likely to stick more because you've heard it so much, right? It's like you listen to a song on repeat constantly, more chance that you'll be able to pick up the lyrics and sing the song without reading the lyrics because you've heard it so much that it just sticks in your mind. You know what I mean? So this is why why they say repetition is the mother of learning, right? So without further ado, we're just going to get into the scriptures, right? So I'm going to read in the book of Revelation, chapter 13, and I'm going to start at the point, which is verse 16 on down. It says, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads," right? So from verse 16, it says, "And he causeth all," so everybody, that's everybody affected. So it says, both small and great, so you're young and you're old, right? It says, rich or poor, so you're middle class, you're upper class, you're rich, whatever, everybody. It says free and bond. So the people that are free and the people that are in bondage. So, maybe someone that's in prison, for example, right? So everybody's going to, be caused to receive a mark in their right hands or in their foreheads. Now, you do have some simple people that will say, well, what if I don't have a right hand? Well, you know what I mean? It'll be placed in your left hand. You know what I mean? It's just talking about the reason it says the right hand is because your right hand's the more dominant hand, right? There's but if the left hand is your more dominant, then it's going to put it in your left hand, right? So either way, it's an implantable device that's going to be inserted into you, right? So you have that biometric technology that's getting ready to basically come in full effect, right? Now, without the brain chip or the micro C hip, the RFID micro C hip in your right hand, right? It says, verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name, right? So that's the point. You won't be able to buy or sell. So you have a lot of Israelite groups out there that say the mark of the beast is dealing or laying down with white women, which is absolutely makes no sense. But or you have other groups that say that that is sin. Sin is the uh, mark of the beast, which is incorrect. It's the physical digital micro C hip, the RFID micro C hip, that is implanted within your skin, right? Now it says that, right? When you go into the breakdown, and we've done many breakdowns on this, I won't break it down on this lesson because this is just going to be a short lesson. But it says that it'll be inserted in you, right, through the charagma, charax, right, the incision. But I'm going to keep reading. So this is verse 18, and it says, "Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666, right? So when you look at the barcode and everything of that nature, you got the barcodes which has the 666 in it. So you'll be like, basically scannable property is what you'll become to the elites, right? And they'll be able to stop you, silence you, or stop you from being incorporated in society. So, for example, if you don't take the micro C hip or the brain C hip, you're locked off from society. That means you can't get a job, you can't rent a property, you can't buy a property, you can't do anything, right? Without them giving you the green light, because everything's going to be controlled through the AI systems, which is going to be trackable. So they want everybody to be tracked so they can put them in the Gulag, or this open prison, right? This digital prison, right? But it says in the scriptures, and it's very clear when it says this. I'm going to skip past 14. This is where I want to go, but I'm going to jump over to verse 16, right? So this is Revelation, not verse 16, chapter 16. So this is Revelation chapter 16. I'm going to start from verse 1. And it reads, "And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the seven angels, Go your ways and pour out the vials of the wrath of the Most High upon the earth." So this is after everybody's received the RFID micro C hip in their right or left hand. That's what it's referring to. Is like this is after the fact, right? So after the fact that the ones that accept the beast system and his image, this is the judgment that's getting ready to come upon them, right? So it says in verse 2, it says, "And the first went out and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image." Right, so we're just going to look at that noisome and grievous sore. We're going to see what that is, right? So we're going to look here, right, where it says, I'll just put the sore, noisome and grievous sore. So I'm going to look at the word here, right, or helkos.
Strong's G 1668, helkos.
Helkos. And this is the outline of biblical usage. It says a wound, especially a wound producing a discharge, pus, a sore, an ulcer, right? So when you put the RFID micro C hip and you plant that under your skin, and then let's say, for example, that 6G technology is cooking under your skin, you're going to get sores and boils and all kinds of and ulcers all over your hands and wherever. You know what I mean? Now that's a judgment from the Lord, right? Because this is what it says. It says, "The first went out and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image." Right? And that's just one of the things that will happen to the people that accept the micro C hip and the brain C hip, right? So These are some of the things that are getting ready to happen to those when that digital system becomes mandatory, right? So I'm going to go back to Revelation chapter 14, right? Because this is the point, and I'll end it here because I'm on my lunch break at the moment and I need to head back to the office. But this is Revelation chapter 14, verse 9, and it says, doom for the worshippers of the beast, right? So this is Revelation 14 and 9. It says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, right? So again, talking about the charagma, or the RFID micro C hip, which is that biotechnology is going to be inserted, right, into people, right? It says, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So obviously the angels are going to watch you cook by them ICBM nuclear missiles, and Yahweh Shai is going to watch you cook. When you accept the mark of the beast, the MOTB, and the RFID micro C hip, you're basically telling the Lord that you don't need him to protect you from what's coming. You're happy to go along with this beast system, and die with it. That's basically what you're saying, right? So what does it say here in verse 11? It says, and the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Now you imagine these grievous sores, you ain't getting no rest. Imagine trying to sleep and you just hurting all over. You just got sores and boils all over you. You know, there's no rest. There's no rest. You're just in pain all the time. You thought this digital system was going to help you, but it was a curse unto you. Now it's too late because you already made your choice. You made your choice to choose the beast over the Lord, right? This is why we warn you, and we're repeatedly saying the same things. It's because we're trying to warn you how serious this is, right? So verse 12, and I'll leave it here. It says, here is the patience of the saints. Now, who are the saints? The Israelites, the elect, right? It says, here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High and have the faith of Yahweh Shai, right? So here we are letting you know that this is serious. We're getting ready to enter this time where the digital system is going to be implemented on a global scale. It's going to be that prison that they're creating, and if you accept that system, you're finished. You're done for. You're going to receive that judgment and that pain and that death, right? Now, like I say, we always say to our people that are following this truth to repent and make sure you stay laser focused on following exactly what the Lord has commanded of us, right? Repenting, fasting, keeping the faith, and just making sure that you're doing everything to please the Lord, and it just, hope and pray that you're considered worthy to be delivered from the judgments, the hour of temptation, right? The judgments that are getting ready to be pushed out upon the earth, right? So I pray that this lesson has been edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai. And with that, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai B'Hashem Rachak Wadash. Double honors to my elders apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. I want to say peace and salutations to you hopeful elect out there. And it's on to the next lesson, Lord willing. Shalom.